Guys, listen, if you feel like a job is affecting your mental health in any way, and if you know this job ain't for you anymore, and you feel like it's not, it's just not cutting it for you no more, you just can't handle it, and it's too toxic for you, walk away. Walk away. Don't don't be moved by the money, because money's cool, and we do need to pay our bills. But let me tell you something. Money is not going to help your mental health. Making money is not going to help your mental health. I want to make this video talk about, why I left Amazon. I was there for about almost 3 months. Now, when it comes to Amazon, specifically delivery drivers, a lot of them quit, right? A lot of Amazon workers quit. I don't think you can really find any Amazon worker on planet Earth that has worked there at a warehouse or as a delivery driver for a long period of time. And, judging by the history, Amazon's not much of a long-term job for most people. If you have to pay a certain bill and you need a certain amount of money, then that job may be for you. It's a good income to have to save money, put money aside. But overall, a lot of people quit because of maybe it's a toxic work environment, maybe their DSP or their manager sucks, or for delivery drivers, there's a lot of unrealistic expectations for the drivers to meet up to. I can tell you from my own experience that there's a lot of unrealistic expectations for the delivery drivers. Getting 190 stops done by like 4 or 5 o'clock, and you leave the station at 10 o'clock. Knowing that you got to deal with traffic, you got to abide by the rules of the road. Speeding limits are intact. So, there's certain things that go against you doing your best when it comes to that job. Some workers get attacked by dogs, okay? Customers don't put their dogs away for the drop-off. When you go ahead and drop off the package, the customer is supposed to put their dogs inside, because there's been a lot of instances in the past to where delivery drivers have gotten attacked by dogs, and they have gotten injured, some have been killed. So that in itself is a very serious situation, and we're told to report an animal on the route for those purposes. But if we feel unsafe to deliver the package, and there's like this aggressive dog just waiting for us to hop out the vehicle, are you going to take that risk of delivering a package to a customer? By the time you're walking up to the front porch, this dog ready to bite your ass. This dog is ready to kill you, injure you. Are you willing to take that risk? I know for me, I'm not. I'm not dumb. I'm not going to take that risk. I'm going to keep my black ass in that vehicle, in that van, until the customer comes out and puts the dog inside so that I can deliver the package safe and sound. Because it's about my safety, and I got to put my safety first. You see, sometimes customers don't do that. You got customers that are just plain ignorant and don't want to do that. Right? Now, one of the main reasons why I decided to quit Amazon Sunday night, after Sunday night, I decided to quit. I realized, this ain't really for me. It's not because I couldn't physically do the job. It was affecting my mental more than anything. And there's a lot of unrealistic expectations for delivery drivers, I feel like. You can be doing your best on any route. There are some routes that you're given that are very complicated, that require more time for a drop-off to take place. And they're all about speed. They're all about timing. It's all about beating a time, right? It's all about the numbers for them, right? They don't care that you're struggling to get through certain stops. They're so big on don't speed. Don't have a speeding violation, right? But yet they pressure you into speeding it up and going fast just to get back to the station on time. There's instances where, your route is like 30 minutes away from the station. So by the time you're done delivering, they want you to get back to the station by 6 o'clock or 6:30, right? But if you're done delivering by 6:30, and that's the best you can do, like, it may take you 30 minutes. Like, it'll take you 30 minutes to get to your first stop. By the time you leave the station by 10 o'clock, you'll get to your first stop probably by 10:30, depending on the traffic, right? Now, if you're working on a Monday you're delivering packages on a Monday, good darn well that the traffic will be hectic on a Monday morning, Monday afternoon. Everybody going to work, everybody going to school. There's a lot of school buses. There's a lot of activity going on the Monday morning, Monday afternoon, right? Because it's the first day of the week. So the road is going to be more packed, right? That's just how it is. So it may affect the timing in which you get to your first stop. And that's just how it goes, right? And by 10:30 or 10:35, you're making your first stop, right? They want you to get 180 stops, 190, 200 done by 5:30, 6 o'clock. I mean, and you may not be able to do that, depending on how fast you are, depending on the circumstances of the road and of the delivery. Some stops that you deliver to give you a hard time, right? You may go to a school for you delivery drivers that work for Amazon. You may deliver, like 40 packages to one stop. And that's most likely going to be at a school, at a university. And that's going to take some time because you've got to sort out all those packages. You got to scan them. And you're not going to be carrying no 40 freaking packages in your hand, along with the key and the phone, walking to the mail room inside the school. That's not going to happen. You're going to be putting all them packages in that one bag, that one tote, or in two totes, so that you can effectively bring those packages, to the mailroom attendant, right? And that's going to take some time. But once again, for them, it's all about speed. It's all about timing. And they put pressure on you to get done on time. Now, by the time you're done delivering at 5:30 or 6, maybe 6:30. Let's go at 6:30. So, in your van, you waste some gas, right? And before you get back to the station, you got to pump. You got to fill up, right? Before you head back to the station. That's, it's mandatory. But once again, remember, you're 30 minutes away from the station. They're always going to tell you to go to a gas station that's closest to the station, like 3 or 4 minutes away. The Wawa gas station was closest to my station. right? So naturally we would go to that gas station to pump, you know. But once again, you're 28, 30 minutes away. And then you still have to abide by the traffic, by the the rules of the road, right? So they expect you to be done by 6:30, be back by 7 o'clock or something, or no later than 7 o'clock, right? No later. It's kind of hard to get back on time when you're a half an hour away from the station. You know, they give you a fleet card to fill up for the transaction, right? And sometimes the damn gas card won't even freaking work. And you're there trying to swipe it in, and it won't go through. The transaction won't process through for you to fill up. So that becomes a complication. And I've had that problem many, many times. Like, there was always times where I could not fill up on gas because the damn fleet card wasn't working. Or they gave me a bogus ass PIN number, right? They didn't give me the correct PIN number the entire time. And they never, and I told them this, right? I told them this about my PIN number, that y'all gave me the wrong PIN number, and still didn't do nothing about it. They still didn't do nothing about it and give me the right PIN number. So sometimes you're there for 5-10 minutes trying to just, swipe the card through to make sure it works. You got to play with it for a couple minutes, before it starts working. So that takes more time, right? You're probably thirsty. You probably need some water. Probably, go inside the store, get you a bottle of water. Get you dehydrated because you're on the road. You're told to, step up your game and rush through, right? So that's taking energy out of you. You know what I'm saying? Which is also making you thirsty, dehydrated. Obviously, got to bring a gallon of water with you, right? And then you're low on energy, right? Because you're running around. You're burning hella calories, for those 7-8 hours that you're constantly, rapidly delivering these packages in a timely manner, right? But by the time you get back to the station, it'll be like past 7 o'clock, And for my DSP, that's not what they want. They want you to be back by 6:30, between 6:30 and 7, right? Or, you can't be past the cutoff time, which is 7 o'clock, right? But there are certain circumstances on the road when you're driving that just occurs, right? And it messes up your time. It happens. You're doing the best that you can do. And for me, I was doing the best I can do. I was literally grinding every single time I went into the station. Do my best to organize all my packages, all my boxes, overflow boxes, and the bags and everything. Like, I would be doing my best. You know what I'm saying? To speed up. And by all means, I was definitely not the fastest delivery driver, by all means. But I was still doing my damn best. I didn't take no breaks. Now, of course, I'll have to park the vehicle, to drink some water, maybe bite on something real quick. But I was never taking a 15 or 30-minute break. I didn't take no breaks. But throughout my time there, 2 months of being there, I did not take no breaks at all. None. No break time. I was just move, go, right? So, it's like, and I don't want to be in this vicious cycle of a manager telling me to step it up. Step your game up when I'm doing the best that I can freaking do to make sure all these packages get delivered in a timely manner. And I'm not bullshitting on the road I'm not wasting time, and I'm giving it my best. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to be dogged out by a manager because I'm not meeting up to their standards of performance, right? You know, they're not on the road with me. They're not. They're not on the road with me. They don't know what's going on. They don't. And that's one of the reasons why I decided to leave. Because I know I'm busting my ass. But I'm not going to be dogged out by management because I can't reach a certain expectation. Right? I can't meet a certain standard in which y'all are setting. No. I'm not going to be in that vicious cycle going back and forth. When I know I'm busting my ass. And I know I'm doing the best that I can do. And it's still not enough. And you still got to send people to come rescue me. That makes me look bad. Because now that person has to waste their time in rescuing me. That's taking time away from their family. Time spent with their family. And them getting done on time, right? So that's making me look guilty. That I need to be rescued all the damn time. And trust and believe I had to be rescued. Now, the first month that I was there, I would say I did a pretty good job of not getting rescued. I would say in April, the second month, and going into May, I was getting rescued pretty frequently. A lot. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, it doesn't look good on you because now you're the guy, the driver, that always needs to be rescued all the damn time. So that's kind of like, you know, your reputation, right? Oh, we gotta go rescue this guy again, you know, because he's like 10 stops behind, right? So it's just not a good look. Another reason why I decided to leave was because of the commute. I was driving literally an hour and 20 minutes from my home to the station 3-4 days a week. Now, for me, that was about, if I wasn't taking the toll fee, if I wasn't taking the expressway and paying the tolls, it was about like 51 miles away. But for some reason, odd reason, taking the expressway was a lot faster. Was 1 hour and 8 minutes. But that was a longer mileage. I think over 60 to 70 miles, but yet it was a faster route. But then I looked at the back way, which was an hour and 15 to 20 minutes. It's less mileage, about 50 something miles. So I'm like, well, it's going to take me a little longer to get to the station. But on the flip side, I'm saving gas by taking this way to work. So I would take the longest way to work to save on gas, quote unquote. But that's just what the maps was telling me, right? I was looking at the maps and looking at which route is more, more gas consuming, right? But then, tolls cost like $4.55. And I didn't feel like paying no $4.55. So I'm like, man, I'll just take the long way to work. I'll just drive an hour and 15, 20 minutes. No big deal, right? But it got to a point where it's like, okay, I'm driving an hour and 15 minutes. Then I'm going to be driving a vehicle, a company van, for about 9 to 10 hours straight. Then I got to drive my own car back home the same time, right? The same amount of time that it took me to get there. So that in itself is exhausting. mentally exhausting, I would say. Especially if you go into work and you don't get a route, well, you're screwed, because then you just wasted all that gas. You gotta drive all the way back, and it's like a giant waste of time. So I wasn't going to be there for the long term, and I planned out weeks in advance to just quit, just leave. You know, I got something else lined up, no big deal, because you can't always depend on one source of income. You got to depend on multiple sources of income. You know what I'm saying? If you're playing it smart, you would have another source of income already planned out in advance. So for me, I wasn't beat on driving an hour and 20 minutes to work 4 days a week, bro. I wasn't going to do that long term. That's a long way to drive. That's a long way to get to work, a long drive to work. So, if I'm working somewhere, I need to be close, 20 minutes away, So that's really, I'm leaving at 7 o'clock, 7:30, and I get to the station by 9. I'm done by 7:30, and I get home by like between 8:30 and 9, depending on the traffic, once again, right? It all depends on traffic. There's a lot of construction going on. Flaggers are on site. So, yeah, that you got to also factor in that as well. So, I wasn't going to do that. I was not going to do that long term. And it would just eat up an entire chunk of my day. And when you're working a job, right, you don't want the job to eat up a huge chunk of your day. You don't. You don't want it to eat up a huge chunk of your day. Because then it's like by the time you get home, you're tired. You're exhausted. You probably want to eat and go to bed. And then you start over again. Same cycle. Repeat itself. Same cycle. Work. Get up. Work. Take a shower. Go home. Eat. Sleep. Repeat. Get up. Take a shower. Work. Come home. Eat. Sleep. Repeat. Like, ain't nobody finna do that for the long term, bro. I'd rather work early, day shifts, get out by 3, 4 o'clock. That way I have the entire day for myself to do what I gotta do, to work on other things in my life. Because working at Amazon, I realized, okay, 4 days a week, this is gonna kind of eat up an entire chunk of my day. And then on my off days, I'm probably spending my off days sleeping. That's how tired I am, right? So it takes a lot. The job in itself takes a lot out of you physically and mentally. And for a lot of you Amazon workers, delivery drivers, you can attest to that. So you can attest to what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying? Y'all can attest to what I'm saying. It'll definitely drain you. Which is why so many quit in the first place. So the unrealistic expectations, the high standards, no matter how hard you work, you can't meet up to those expectations, right? And I don't want to be going back and forth with the boss, manager, and trying to explain myself, and they only see it their way because, well, when it comes to a manager and a boss, they don't get paid to see it your way, right? I mean, overall, the pay was good. Weekly pay. Can't really complain about that. I've had some red flags, and definitely had some signs that was telling me that this job is not going to be for the long term. It's really just for the short term, till you find something better, right? But I wanted to really challenge myself, because it was a brand new job for me, to see how well I would do delivering, driving a van, But the long distance to work, I feel like, is a deal breaker. Driving an hour and 20 minutes, bro, that's a huge deal breaker. And a lot of people would say no to that, right? So there was like no Amazon station in my own area, in my county. I had to go in a different county to really find that Amazon station, right? But overall, it wasn't worth it. It wasn't worth the commute, in my opinion. Wasting all that money on gas every other day, no. Another reason why I decided to leave, and this was kind of out of nowhere, I would say a last minute reason. My mother was on vacation, and she had been sick all week on her vacation. I would say that the day after I quit Amazon, she had to go to the hospital, and she was admitted. She's still there now. It's Thursday. She's been admitted since Tuesday, I believe, and she has had urinary tract infection. She's very sick, very weak, dizzy. Had to go for multiple CAT scans, X-rays on her head. Her blood pressure is very low, and I had to be there for her. I wasn't going to go to work and not be there for my own mom because nobody else was there for her. So, had to visit her yesterday. So I thought she was going to be admitted for one day for them to kind of check up on her, to see her, monitor her blood pressure and everything. But she wasn't doing too good. I would say she's doing a little bit better now, but her blood pressure is still low. And, definitely is very low on bodily fluids. So it really made no sense for me to continue to work and, not be there for my mom at the hospital because nobody else was going to drive her there. Nobody else was available, So I had to be there. So so looking back at it now, I would say me quitting was actually the right decision. And I guess perfect timing to quit because of my mom's condition and her just getting sick. And, I'm just hoping and praying that my mom, gets back to normal health. Definitely has to change up her diet going forward. So, and we're just taking it day by day, And like when it comes to a family member, when it comes to like my mom, like I'm not putting no job over that. No. Not over the woman that raised me, my entire life. I'm not gonna put some job over, a loved one. Definitely not. So that being said, let me know down y'all's thoughts in the comment section, your experiences, working at Amazon and all that. If y'all got any stories to tell, any experiences y'all want to share, post it down in the comment section. And thank y'all for listening, for tuning in. I know this was a long video, but I want to get this off my chest and explain the reasoning why I left Amazon. Overall, it was just a right decision to leave, pretty much quit, because there's always something better, there's always something better. And yeah, money's cool, but if your mental health is going to be compromised long term, is it really worth it? You know what I'm saying? And then all that pressure on top of that. Like, nobody wants to work a job that they know they're replaceable in anyway, and it's all this pressure on them to perform well. It's like, bro, Amazon can hire new people. They can hire a new person tomorrow if they wanted to replace you. You know what I'm saying? Like, it don't take much for them to replace somebody with someone new. How I look at it, Amazon needs us. We don't need Amazon. They got workers quitting left and right. That's a red flag. Right? That's not a good look. If your workers are quitting every other day. So, that's all I'm saying, man. So make sure y'all like the video for the algorithm. This is Mr. Solo Dolo. Subscribe today for more content, and I'm out. Peace.